Imagine one man so powerful he could lock every major banker in America inside his private library and force them to save the country. A man who created the world's first billion-dollar corporation with a single nod. A man whose personal art collection was so vast it helped build the Metropolitan Museum of Art, yet whose own face he desperately tried to hide from the world. This isn't myth. This is the untold story of John Pierpont Morgan, the banker, the collector, the tyrant, the savior. Born April 17, 1837 in Hartford, Connecticut, to Junius Spencer Morgan, a successful banker, and Juliet Pierpont, daughter of the famous poet John Pierpont and niece of the man who wrote Jingle Bells. From birth, he insisted everyone call him Pierpont. Family wealth came early. At age 10, his grandfather died and left a fortune, but health haunted him. In 1852, at just 15, rheumatic fever struck hard, joint pains so severe he couldn't walk. Doctors sent him to the Azores for a year-long recovery. His father, a strict disciplinarian, shipped him to Bellerive School in Switzerland to learn French, then to the University of Göttingen in Germany. There, in just 6 months, he earned a degree in art history, already showing the curiosity that would define his private life. He became fluent in French and German, skills that later bridged European capital to American industry. By 1857, at 20, he was in London working for his father's firm, George Peabody and Company. 2 years later, New York at Duncan Sherman and Company. The Civil War came in 1861. Pierpont opened J. Pierpont Morgan and Company and financed the Union. He even bought a substitute to avoid service, common for wealthy men, but it fueled later criticism. 1861 brought personal tragedy. He married his sweetheart, Amelia Mimi Sturgis, after a 2-year courtship. She was already dying of tuberculosis. He literally carried her down the aisle and to the carriage. 4 months and 10 days later, she died in Nice, France. He was devastated. In 1865, he remarried Frances Tracy at St. George's Church. They had 4 children, Louisa, Jack Jr., who would inherit the empire, Juliet, and Anne, who became a major philanthropist herself. The family lived in a grand Madison Avenue mansion, but work always came first. Behind the boardroom titan was a complex, deeply human man, self-conscious, fiercely loyal, endlessly curious, and driven by demons few saw. Physically imposing, massive shoulders, huge hands, piercing eyes, but one feature defined his insecurity: his nose. From childhood acne rosacea, it developed into severe rhinophema, a bulbous, purple, cauliflower-like deformity with growths, lesions, pits, and nodules. It worsened in middle age. Photographers retouched every portrait. If anyone snapped an unedited photo, he flew into a rage. One famous 1910 image shows him at 73, cane raised, ready to smash the camera. He refused surgery, fearing it might trigger the seizures he had as a child. When a friend suggested it, Morgan snapped, "Everybody knows my nose. It would be impossible for me to appear on the streets of New York without it." That insecurity masked itself with a barking voice, tyrannical manner, and explosive temper. Contemporaries said entering his presence felt as if a gale had blown through the house. Yet he was loyal to a fault. When a friend was blackballed from the Union Club, Morgan resigned in protest, founded the Metropolitan Club, donated the land, and made his friend a charter member. He smoked dozens of giant Havana cigars daily. He called them Hercules' clubs. Strict Episcopalian discipline from his father echoed in his life. "Remember, there is an eye above that is ever upon you." He served on the committee revising the Book of Common Prayer and later donated $100,000, millions today, for a World Church Conference. His curiosity and hobbies were legendary. Art wasn't just decoration, it was obsession. He called himself a collector of collections. Rare books, illuminated manuscripts, bronzes, ivories, clocks, Chinese porcelain, medieval armor, fossils, gems. He famously said, "No price is too high for an object of unquestioned beauty and known authenticity." He owned 3 legendary yachts named Corsair, symbols of power. As Commodore of the New York Yacht Club, he donated land for their clubhouse. He traveled 3 months every year, splitting time between New York and his London houses packed with treasures. He funded photographer Edward S. Curtis with $75,000 to document Native American life, resulting in the epic 20-volume The North American Indian. Philanthropy flowed quietly. Hospitals, schools, Harvard Medical School, the American Museum of Natural History. He donated 2 massive gem collections, and especially the Metropolitan Museum of Art, where he served as president and shaped its direction. His private library on Madison Avenue, filled with rare books and art, became both sanctuary and crisis headquarters. To the world, he was ruthless. To his inner circle, he was the man who built empires by day and surrounded himself with beauty by night. By the 1880s, America's railroads were chaos. Bankruptcies, rate wars, cutthroat competition. Morgan stepped in with Morganization. He restructured the New York Central, Erie, Northern Pacific, controlling eventually 1/6 of all U.S. track. He didn't just lend money, he installed his managers, demanded stability, and delivered steady dividends. Wall Street's mantra became, "If Morgan backs it, it's safe," all while escaping to his library or yacht when the pressure mounted. The Panic of 1893 nearly destroyed America. Unemployment at 20%. The Treasury's gold reserves evaporated. President Grover Cleveland turned to Morgan. In secret, Morgan and the Rothschilds injected 3.5 million ounces of gold, $62 million, over $2 billion today, in exchange for bonds. The nation survived, but cartoons painted Morgan as the puppet master. He shrugged, "I owe the public nothing." 1901. Morgan already controlled Federal Steel. He sent Charles Schwab to Andrew Carnegie. "Name your price." Carnegie wrote $480 million. Morgan glanced and said, "I accept." United States Steel was born. $1.4 billion capitalization, the first billion-dollar company ever. It produced 2/3 of America's steel. While the deal closed, Morgan was already planning his next art purchase, proof that even at the peak of power, beauty called to him. 1907. Copper market crash. Bank runs. No Federal Reserve existed. At 70, Morgan summoned every top banker to his personal library, the same room filled with his rare books and art. He locked the doors. "You will stay here until we solve this," he growled. All night they negotiated mergers, pledges, rescues. He personally guaranteed millions and convinced President Theodore Roosevelt to allow U.S. Steel's quiet purchase of a failing company. By dawn, the panic ended. That library, his private sanctuary of beauty and books, had just saved the American economy. In 1912, the Pujo Committee exposed his reach. His banks and partners controlled $22 billion, more than all wealth west of the Mississippi. On March 31, 1913, in Rome's Grand Hotel Plaza, 75-year-old Pierpont Morgan died peacefully in his sleep after a long decline, weakness, paralysis, unable to eat or speak. The New York Stock Exchange closed for 2 hours, the only time ever for a private citizen. His estate, $68 billion, about $1.6 billion today, plus art worth far more. His firm became J.P. Morgan Chase. His 1907 actions helped inspire the Federal Reserve in 1913. America refused to rely on one man again. Love him or hate him, robber baron or financial genius, J.P. Morgan turned America into an industrial superpower. He hid his nose, but never his ambition. He crushed competition, yet gave the nation museums, libraries, and stability. Was he a tyrant masking pain with power? Or the curious collector who saved America when no one else could? Drop your verdict below, hero or villain. If you love these deep dive documentaries on the men who built modern finance, smash subscribe, hit the bell, and comment your next titan. Next week, the real story of the 1929 crash. Thanks for watching Behind the Money, where we go behind the numbers and behind the man.